Two friends were invited to a costume party, but with a twist. Everyone had to come dressed as an emotion. The first guy shows up wearing mismatched clothes, holding a broken umbrella, and looking totally miserable. The second guy arrives in a yellow shirt, a chef's hat, and he's carrying a giant bowl of pudding. The host opens the door and looks at them, confused. "What are you two supposed to be?" The first guy says, "I'm deep in despair." The second guy grins and says, "And I'm disgusted." One day, a blonde walked into a doctor's office with both of her ears burnt. The doctor asked her what had happened. She says, "Well, I was ironing out my work suit and the phone rang, but I mistakenly picked up the iron instead of the phone." The doctor says, "Well, that explains one ear, but what about the other?" "The phone rang again," came the reply. Little Johnny was walking down the street with his dad. "Hey, Dad, bet you $5 there's a couple dogs humping around this corner." Dad laughs. "You're on, kid." Sure enough, they turn the corner. Dogs are going at it. Dad pays up. Later, Dad calls Johnny's teacher. "My kid's got this gambling habit I can't break, and he never loses. Can you help?" Teacher agrees to try. Next day, Johnny says, "Hey, teacher, bet you $5 I can guess what color panties you're wearing." The teacher refuses, all week. Finally, on Friday, she snaps. "Fine, Johnny, bet's on." She lifts her dress to reveal she isn't wearing any panties. Johnny groans and hands over $5. That afternoon, the teacher calls Johnny's dad, thrilled. "Great news. I made Johnny lose a bet." Dad asks, "Really? How?" "I didn't wear panties today," she boasts. There's a long pause, then Dad shouts, "Damn it, that little bastard just won $50 off me this morning." A man was dining alone in a fancy restaurant, and there was a gorgeous redhead sitting at the next table. He had been checking her out since he sat down, but lacked the nerve to talk with her. Suddenly she sneezed, and her glass eye came flying out of its socket towards the man. He reflexively reached out, grabbed it out of the air, and handed it back. "Oh my, I am so sorry," the woman said as she popped her eye back in place. "Let me buy your dinner to make it up to you." They enjoyed a wonderful dinner together, and afterwards they went to the theater, followed by drinks. They talked, they laughed. She shared her deepest dreams, and he shared his. She listened to him with interest. After paying for everything, she asked him if he would like to come to her place for a nightcap and stay for breakfast. They had a wonderful, wonderful time. The next morning, she cooked a gourmet meal with all the trimmings. The guy was amazed. Everything had been so incredible. "You know," he said, "you are the perfect woman. Are you this nice to every guy you meet?" "No," she replies. "You just happen to catch my eye." Two psychiatrists were at a convention. As they conversed over a drink, one asked, "What was your most difficult case?" The other replied, "I had a patient who lived in a pure fantasy world. He believed that an uncle in South America was going to die and leave him a fortune. All day long he waited for a letter to arrive from an attorney. He never went out, he never did anything, he merely sat around and waited for this fantasy letter from this fantasy uncle. I worked with this man for 8 years. What was the result? It was an 8-year struggle. Every day for 8 years, but I finally cured him. And then that stupid letter arrived." 3 sisters, ages 92, 94, and 96, live in a house together. One night, the 96-year-old draws a bath. She puts one foot in, pauses. She yells down the stairs, "Was I getting in or out of the bath?" The 94-year-old yells back, "I don't know. I'll come up and see." She starts up the stairs and pauses. Then she yells out, "Was I going up the stairs or down?" The 92-year-old is sitting at the kitchen table having tea and listening to her sisters. She shakes her head and says, I sure hope I never get that forgetful. She knocks on wood for good measure. She then replies, I'll come up and help both of you as soon as I see who's at the door. Two men are walking down the street when a dog that's foaming at the mouth viciously bites one of them, then runs off. Oh my God, cries the other man. That dog must have rabies. Rabies? Says the bitten man. Looking frightened and shaky, he takes a notepad and a pen out of his pocket and starts to scribble something down. Wait, says his friend. We can get you tested and vaccinated for rabies if we go to the hospital right now. You don't have to start writing your will. It's not a will, the bitten man says with an evil grin. It's a list of people I hate that I want to bite.